good afternoon. Welcome to Dylan Talks Tone. Welcome to the Just Gonna Say It podcast. I hope you all are having a great week so far. It's Tuesday afternoon. This is what we do on Tuesday afternoons is the old podcast. Um, I just didn't have a whole lot today. I've been super busy. Haven't had a whole lot of time to even think, and come up with random ideas to talk about on the podcast. So I thought what we would do is a little bit of an ask me anything, off topic, on topic, no limits really. If you get too crazy, maybe I just won't answer the question, but I'll try to do the best I can. It's a little bit kind of what we do on Thursdays in the off topic hour, but it's just me. Guitar questions, not guitar questions, anything. If you want to use a super chat, you're welcome to do that. If you want to skip the super chat, you can go right here and skip the YouTube Big Brother and use Cash App if you like. We had a request for that last week, and so we thought, oh, that's a great idea. In fact, I was watching a pen channel, and they were doing the same thing, putting all the little information right down here in the corner, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that actually. So so there it is. So that's all the stuff you need. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. A couple things before we get going, real quick. Don't forget about the new cables. The Runway Audio, Dylan Talks Tone. Let me just clear something up. There's a bunch of morons in the I'm just going to tell you they are morons and did not pay attention. These are just some cables you got off of Amazon and you just slapped her. No, I didn't. They're the best cables in the business, man. Runway Audio is fantastic. If you know who Runway Audio is, then you know. We just did an exclusive colorway with them, and he let me put my name on them and sell them on my website, which I think is very cool of him. But they are Runway Audio cables. They just have my name on them as well, and you all actually picked the color, so there is that. So it's your fault. So go check those out if you like. All the options are available on my website. He actually drop ships, fulfills them for me, so I don't even ever see them. So there you go. I do get to see your order and see that you ordered them, but then he fulfills them and ships them. So there you go. We've got some new pickups on the pickup vault at Dylan Talks Tone. You can check those out. Just some short run stuff. And I'm working on a couple other little things too. And of course we have some new shirts too. This is the Center Punch shirt. The King of the Split Center Punch shirts. So check that out and some other stuff. So there you go. All right. I tell you what, let's go through some of these. Let's see if there's any questions already. Rusty, Casino Guitars had a video about the value of 3-way Strat switches and that the tone is different than with a 5-way switch, even if you hit the in-between spots because of the wiring. I disagree. Wiring is wiring. Switches are switches. On, off, A, B. Don't overthink it. It's just a switch. I wouldn't mess with that. I do have a personal question, although it's certainly not important. Okay, whatever. Yeah, do it. What causes the neck pickup on a Telecaster to distort when plucking the top E string? Now that's probably going to depend on the amp that you play. 5E3 Fender amps, like a deluxe, for example, will do that, kind of fart out when you play the low E. That could be part of it. It just depends more on the amp than it does on the guitar. The guitar's not doing that. That's the signal you're sending to the amp, and the interaction between the two is what's causing that. The guitar is not doing that itself. This could be dangerous. Nothing is dangerous. I just hit this stop button right here. I'm in control, man. It's cool. Totally cool. Why pickups? Why are these dumb electromagnets what you make? Because I like them. I firmly believe that they are what drives an electric guitar. Well, they are what drives an electric guitar. And I like the sound they make. And I like part of the thing that drives me to do what I do is problem solving. When I don't like something or when I see something that's not, I wonder if I could make that better, or maybe not even better, just because it's just flavors, right? So there's no better or worse really. It's more about getting the result I want. And so this is a result that I wanted. So this is the result that I shot for, and this is the result that I hit. Did I miss it? Do I have to start over? That sort of stuff. That problem solving is fun for me. So like the center punch pickup, like that this shirt is made after, coil splitting without a volume drop. Most coil split pickups sound like garbage, and I wanted to solve that problem. And I believe we did a pretty good job at doing that with the center punch pickup. So that is an excellent example of that. Yeah, but yeah, they're dumb. They're not smart. It's just math is all it is. Music literally is just math, and then the emotion comes from the application of it. So, yeah, it's fun. How much do you think it will cost to have an old school bee bender installed? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. Let's see. Proper distance from fretboard edge, that depends on the guitar. There's really no one answer for that. Are you going to have 100K pickups or t-shirts? I don't know what we're doing with that. Leslie and I were just talking about that the other day. So we don't, we did giveaways like every 10,000 subscribers for a while, and giveaways are stupid. At least at this size of channel and the viewership of the channel that we have, all they do is bring out, it doesn't help to grow the channel. It's just people that want stuff for free and that whine, and I'm just not into it. I will say that we will probably do, some, what I want to do is have basically like 100,000 subscriber watch party when we get close. And I don't care if it goes for 3 or 4 or 5 hours. I don't care. And during that time, then we might give away some like door prizes, sort of just like an online, you can come and go and in and out party, but you have to be there in order to win the stuff. So we might do some of that. I'm not really sure. I haven't really decided yet. We're kind of playing around with that. Any advice for someone with really bad arthritis in their hands that are having a hard time playing their guitar? I have had good experience and good with like various CBD infused creams, stuff like that. Stuff has helped me a lot, because I am in constant pain because of my injuries that I have, and so I have had good success with that. I mean, if you can't move to Colorado or California, what is the advantage of hand guiding the wire as opposed to having the machine do it? So this is something I've been playing with a bunch, obviously, because I've got this CNC winder. One of the things that makes our pickups do what they do, and this is the thing that I'm working with right now. The thing that makes our pickups do what they do is how we put the wire on the bobbin. If you watch me wind a pickup versus somebody else wind a pickup, you're going to see my hands do different things. And the reason I've not gotten a CNC winder up until this point is because I do not want to lose that aspect. The biggest thing is capacitance. We talked about this in the cable stuff. Anytime you put two wires next to each other, they kind of crosstalk to each other, and it basically just steals frequencies from each other, more or less. It's capacitive loss is what it is. There's a lot of people snake oiling me in the comments on that video, and I was like, well, if you don't believe in science, that's fine with me. I don't care. But that happens in pickups really a lot because you have a lot of wire really close together with really thin insulation, and those sorts of things, they matter. And so when you do it with a machine and everything's really super lined up, super straight, You have more capacitance that kills highs. So figuring a way around that with a machine is key. It's important. It's something that needs to be done. And so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that with that thing or not. We'll just have to see. I recently purchased a PRS SE McCarty 594. Is it a good guitar for worship or P&W or good for any genre? This will be my first PRS that I own. Sammy, I'm going to give you a word of advice. Don't ask anybody what they think of your guitar after you bought it. You will like that guitar, I am sure, because something drew you to it and made you buy it. But do not care at all what I think about your guitar whatsoever. And do not be one of those people who says, I already bought this guitar. Is it good? Don't do that. That's annoying. And I'm not saying that you're annoying. I'm just saying we get into that habit of letting other people worry about, like, we worry about what other people think of our gear. Don't. Honest opinion, it's a great guitar. You're going to love it. But because I know that, don't let anybody else tell you anything otherwise. Because if you ask me, I'm going to tell you you're going to love it. If you ask somebody else in some other Facebook group, they're going to come up with some stupid thing that does not apply to you and only applies to them because somebody hit them when they were a kid. And don't let that affect you. Just play that guitar. You are going to love it. Absolutely, you're going to love that guitar. Hey, Dylan, I've always enjoyed your content. I always wondered, is there any downside to the guitar fetish quick plug thing? They do. No, there isn't anything downside to it. There's no reason for it. Everybody thinks they're going to swap pickups all the time. They aren't. You're not. You're making it up in your head. Now that you have a house and many of your bucket list guitars, will you consider going down the amp and speaker cab rabbit hole? No, because digital stuff is cool, and I do not care about having a room full of boxes of things that I will rarely use. I don't like things that I rarely use in general. I like to use everything that I own, and I do use everything that I own, and I would not use amps very often. I just don't see the need at the point in it. Yeah, I just don't see the point in it. I'm not one of these people who is like, oh, like it sounds a certain way and I can only play in my Zen mode with this particular. I'm not one of those people. I'm like, what is the gear that I have? Can I make a sound with it? That's cool. Yes. Oh, look, I accidentally made this sound with this gear that I'm not familiar with, that I've never heard before. Now I discovered something new. I'm that guy. Not it's impossible for me to be who I am if I don't have vintage tubes from blah, blah. So stupid. Let's see. What do you think of Artech pickups? I mean, they're all just... Artech is a company that just makes pickups for everybody. It's just a big room with a bunch of machines in it, and they just make pickups for everybody. So they make them for Epiphone, they make them for Reverend, they make them for all kinds of people, and they're just a generic pickup. And for most of the time, a company will call and say, "Hey, I need a P90," and they'll just send them a P90. Like, there's no real, it's just kind of how it is. Let's see. Low action and regular practice helps with arthritis. All right. Agreed. I'm not salty at all. I don't think So let me say this. People think I get salty about stuff. I don't at all. I never get upset about any of this stuff. I don't feel like there's a point in it. I love my life. I love my family. I love my life. I love what I'm doing. I have fun every day getting up from my bed and coming over here to my office to go to work. I love what I do. So somebody that I don't know on the internet is not going to steal that joy from me. However, what I will say, and I always say there's no such thing as a dumb question. And there isn't anything as a dumb question, but sometimes a person will ask a question that is not what they really think. When somebody hides behind somebody else's line of reasoning, when somebody hides behind somebody else's belief, when somebody allows somebody else's belief system to tell them that shielding doesn't work or that cables are snake oil. That's not what they really think usually. Usually it's somebody just hiding behind what somebody else believes. And I think that's stupid. You should be you. And so whenever I see somebody doing that, hey, I already bought this guitar. Is it good? It's a cautionary thing. I don't want you to be that person. You're not doing it on purpose. It's not, you're doing it because it's what people do on the internet, but that's not you. You're stoked to get that guitar. So it's not salty at all. But you have to be yourself. You just have to be yourself. Are hand wound pickups better than machine wound, and how so? Yeah, so here's an interesting question that's been hitting me a lot because of course I have a CNC machine now. There'll be a lot of conversation about this. If you get down to the physics of it, first of all, is it better or worse? There is no answer to that. What you like versus what I like may be two different things. Now, let's ask the real question. Scientifically, can you make the same pickup with the machine that I have that I make with my hands? Yes. How? I can actually program in the motion of my hands. We're going to come up with a video about that. Will it be exactly the same? If we get technical, no, because no two pickups are exactly the same when I make them with my hands or with you make them with a machine. Will I be able to get a reasonable facsimile of the stuff that I've made in the past? Absolutely. So will it be as good? Yes. Is one better than the other? No. It's all the same. You can do there's so many variables that you can control that you can make a good product. That is no problem. I have no problem with that. Principally, like in my head, and honestly, Leslie had a real hard time with it. She was like, they're not dealing pickups if you have a machine here, a CNC machine. And I'm like, look, man, if I can make that thing make as good a pickups as me, I'm stupid not to do it. Here's why. I have been making pickups for 10 years. And we are now, in the last 3 or 4, actually able, probably the last 5 years, but really recently, feeling comfortable like, okay, I'm making a living doing this. This is good. And in the last 3 years, we're growing beyond, and I'm pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Principally, there's a few things. This is my 9th business. I'm pretty good at this. Been doing it since I was 17. Running my own businesses, building them up, selling them. Now, I'm not selling this one. So there's principally a few things that I really, really care about. One is that I don't want to be one of those custom pickup builders who makes you wait 6-7 months for a set of pickups. I hear that all the time. Like, I ordered these set of pickups from this guy in South Dakota, and he's supposed to be awesome, but it took him 6 months to make them and blah, blah. No. If it takes me longer than 2 or 3 weeks to order everything that we make, that pisses me off. Like, I want to be prompt about everything that we do here. So to be able to scale to it and be able to make a living, that's really important to me. And I've been busting my butt to do this for the last 3 years or so, and it hurts. Number 2, consistency of product. Absolutely super important. And number 3, we haven't raised our prices in 4 years. With all the inflation that's been going on, all the cost of parts that has been going up, my margins have been getting skinnier and skinnier, and I have not raised prices. And the way I can combat that is to automate some processes. So the 2 things that we are doing, and I didn't even do this on purpose, to tell you the honest truth, because I didn't even ask for that thing. They sent it to me. And I'm like, oh, dang, this is a pretty sweet tool. So automating some processes, the laser and the new winder, I got 2 of them actually, are going to really help with that. So it's either you be, super particular about whether your pickups are handmade or not, hand wound or not, even though I'm going to give you a better product than I was giving you last month, and you go buy somewhere else, or you're happy with the fact that your parts prices haven't gone up in the last 4 years and will not go up, and happy that you're getting your stuff in a reasonable amount of time. That's just kind of where it's at for me. Rick Nelson, I just got here. Are you going to plan on making any Flatwork? Yes, absolutely. Rick, don't buy anything. I'm going to send you some stuff. What I did was I put a post on my Facebook post page yesterday. Anyone who is a customer of mine, and I will go look, so do not lie about this. I will go check. Anybody who is a customer of mine who makes their own pickups, even at home just for fun, I'm going to send them some stuff and let them try it. So, hello from Guatemala. What is your most versatile humbucker-sized pickup? DAF, for sure. DAF, for sure. Let's see. Somebody said I skipped their question. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm doing the best I can. If you really, really want your question to be answered, put it in a super chat. I will try to catch it, but I am doing what I can. Machine made is probably better because it's repeatable. I've made 10,000 pickups up to this point. My stuff is fairly repeatable. I'm pretty dang good at this. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's not that hard. You just have to practice. And what do they say? 10,000 hours. I've got way more than 10,000 hours. And that's not, I'm not bragging. I could set you down at the machine and you could do the same thing. We've taught 60 people now to wind pickups, and I'm not saying that I'm better at it than anybody. I'm just saying I'm good at it. And I know that for sure I could sit you down in a machine and in 10 years, you'd be just as good as me or probably better. Depending on how much time and effort you put into it. So consistency is a thing. It's the hardest part, but it is doable without a CNC winder, but you can get there for sure. Yeah, you can get there for sure. Would you ever consider like a pre-order list for old vault designs? I couldn't get the black humbuckers. Get on the website, send me a chat in the chat thing, and I'll make you a set. I got you. No worries. The reason I keep asking you about Ryback arrays is because you know more about pickups than anyone. Yeah, but the thing is, here's the problem. People ask about technology that they think applies in a guitar pickup that doesn't. So I don't care about it. Like, I don't put any extra thought into it. Do I know about this stuff? Yes. Could I sit down and like think about it and know about it because I've been doing this for a long time and know? Yeah. But I don't waste time. Maybe this is why people think I'm so flippant about this stuff. But I don't let stuff that doesn't matter occupy my brain. I don't. So if you're like, hey, can you send me a diagram on some push-pull in, out, up, down, upside down switcheroo-y thing for my Strat? I'm like, dude, I don't know. You're going to have to Google it because I have no idea. Because I don't care about it. I don't use it every day. Now, you tell me, you ask me what the thickness of 42 gauge wire is in thousandths of an inch. I can tell you that, because I use it every day. That kind of stuff. So, a lot of those things are. Dylan is selling. It's happening. No way, man. There's no way. Let's see. Okay, you said you don't have the magnets for ancho poblanos. I think those are A3s, and I don't have any of those right now. What consideration would one go through when designing a pickup? Do you have a particular process, and are there any common mistakes you see or have experienced yourself? Design's a funny one because the question is, what are you trying to do? If you're trying to sound better than someone, practice more and don't worry about your pickups. If you're trying to sound different, figure out some other flavor, solve a problem. Then yeah. So we talked about capacitance a little bit. That's really important to me. Magnet quality is really important to me. And tension is really important to me. I would say those are the things that I care about more than anything. I'm trying hard to stop myself from diving down the rabbit hole of winding my own pickups. It's bound to get me eventually. Do it. Do it. Try it. Do it. At least do it once. Do it once. Absolutely do it once. If I buy something from you today and I'm trying to get it into making pickups, would you send me that thing you were talking about? Yeah. Put a note on your order. I got you. For sure. I'll happily pay extra for hand wound, not because it's better, but just so I can say it's a Dylan hand wound pickup. Here's the thing. Most of the stuff still is, and it's always going to be. I think there's going to be a huge percentage of what we do. I hand wound a bunch of stuff today. There's going to be a huge percentage of what we do that still is, and you're not going to know. Because a lot of it's going to be demand based. Like today, I've got 1 million of them to do, and tomorrow I've got 5 of them to do. That's going to have a lot to do with it. And here's the other thing. That machine's not as fast as me. I wind at a higher speed than that machine winds. So I can go faster. So I can actually get more done. Now I can go do other stuff while the thing's doing what it's doing, but it's not, it's a time saver, but it also doesn't take the hand woundness out of it because we are doing, if you guys knew how much hand stuff we have to do, it's a lot. There, even with the laser. So, I have an 80 watt, 36 by 24 CO2 laser out there, 220, huge gnarly thing, right? It'll cut anything I put in there pretty much. It's awesome. Not metal, but. And it's taking hours and hours and hours and hours to sort out Flatwork that I like. And I've got it on a couple of models, but I'm working on the next ones, which means I'm working on Sundays, which means I'm staying up late, which means I'm getting up early. I'm doing this stuff all takes time. Then you cut out the Flatwork, right? So you cut out the Flatwork and it's cool. It looks great, right? So you got, what did I make? I made like 80 Strat pickup bobbins the other day. So I cut them all out. Well, then they got sticky stuff on them because it's vulcanized rubber paper mixture. So you got to wash them and then you got to dry them. And then you got to press the eyelets into them. It's a whole thing. Like, it's not just, you don't just push a button and bobbins come out. You know, you don't just push a button and a pickup comes off the winder and boom, there it is. It's, you know, we're still wax potting every pickup, hundreds of them a month, in a $20 crock pot from Amazon. Like, we're still doing all this stuff. It's nothing really has changed. Yeah. I have a 2005 PRS SE. It's fantastic, but the P90s are a little dark. Is it worth experimenting with different pots before swapping them out? They probably have 500s in there already. Get a set of our pickups, throw them in there. You will be happy. I 100% guarantee you it. They definitely, PRS P90s are dark anyway. I've got a friend that has one, and they are dark. So yeah. And it's an SE, so. Can I use a clockwise pickup with a counterclockwise pickup on the same guitar? You can, if you can switch around wiring. Yep. Ask me anything but super chat me for answers. Unsubbed. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, dude. I made it pretty easy. I tried to find your answer. I couldn't find it. Again, not salty, but don't whine in public. Doesn't make you look good. What's your goal when building a pickup? Problem solving. I want clarity and note definition. I want you to be able to plug this into any amp, no matter what. I don't care if it's a dimed 6505, and you be able to hit a chord and hear every note. Like, I don't want it to mush together. I want you want you to be able to hear every note. And I also want you to have enough clarity that you have to use your tone knob. I don't want it to be harsh or brittle, but I want you to have to and be able to use your knobs. Like, I've played so many guitars where I'm like wanting to turn the tone knob up and it's already all the way up, and there's just not enough for me on top. I like that clarity. Yeah. Let's see. We want the hand wound to reminisce on the warmth of the human touch. Oh, I'm going to touch your pickup. I know that sounds creepy, but it's no lie. I'm going to touch your pickup. Please don't pot my pickups. That's a bad mistake. People don't like, they like to, this is another thing that people think they like to like. But man, it's tough. Unless you're just playing in your bedroom, in your mom's basement with the volume really, really low, you're going to regret that decision. Do you have an opinion about pickups that mix poles with rails, like rail hammers? They're cool. I think they're really neat. Let's see. When you reverse wind a pickup, does the machine run backwards or do you flip it around? No, you just flip the wires. So we always wind everything counterclockwise. And if you want to reverse wind it, you just put the negative on the positive and the positive on the negative, for lack of a better word, since we don't have something in front of us to show you. And then we magnetize the magnets backwards. Yep. Let's see what else we got. Just don't face the amp, or do face the amp and then like face away from it and use it. Let's see. Hang on one second. We're going to do a test here really quick. I know this is a lot of dead air. Oh, here it is. I found it. Since Devil May Asian is gone now, we'll answer his question. Some time ago, I had asked, why is it so impossible to find a single coil-sized humbucker with a steel plate and 4 wires for coil splitting? You just said it's hard and I won't build one. Because they're annoying to make. Why? He said, why? They're tough. 4-wire single coil sized humbuckers, there's 2 reasons. One, I don't like them. I don't like how they sound. And they're really hard to make. And they're not cheap to make. There's a lot of parts in there. So you're going to spend $150 for a pickup. You better like it. And you could go buy a Seymour Duncan for that price. That's the other thing. There's a bunch of other brands that make that stuff already, that they've got the machine down. They've got the tooling. They've got all the methods down. And here's the thing about making our pickups by hand. That is a thing. So since everything is made by hand, we don't have like fancy tooling and fancy jigs and fancy stuff to make out all super easy. I don't have that. It literally is by hand. Not just the winding, everything. So it makes it, some of those more intricate processes much more difficult. And it makes it to where it doesn't make it cost effective. It's the other reason why we don't make Filtertrons, because they're so expensive to make at a low volume. And as much as everybody says, I would buy one if you make one, it's not really the case, because we've tried and nobody wants them. Not enough people want them. So I don't make stuff, A, that I won't make money at, B, that I don't like, and C, that, well, those are the 2 reasons. Like if it's so expensive to make that it's not profitable to make at the numbers that we need to make them at, and B, if I don't like them, that means I can't get behind them. I won't talk about them all the time. I won't be super excited about them. It's just not a fun thing for me to do. So I won't do it. Will out of phase sound different whether it's caused by the magnet polarity or the coil direction? You have to have both. So you have to have backwards polarity, magnetic polarity, and electrical phase. Both have to be different. All right. Maybe he really was gone. If you ask a question, don't spend the next 20 minutes whining about it in the comments. It doesn't get you anywhere. Whiners never prosper. They just get ignored and blocked. Let's see. Cheese goes with wine. Can you play better on a red guitar or a black one? I play better on a relict guitar than a not relict guitar, but I don't know about color. I love your whining policy. Yeah, dude. I mean, this is not 8th grade. We're all adults here. Patrick's saving up for his next pickups. Jack Bird, are noiseless P90s a thing, and are they worth it? I can't stand them. I cannot stand them. I don't like noiseless single coils, ever. When you put two coils together out of phase to come up with the hum canceling situation, there is a band of frequencies that gets caught up in the hum, I guess, is the dumb way to say it. But basically, it makes it to where it changes the way the pickup sounds. It takes away some stuff that is inherently there in a regular single coil that I like. And so I'm not a fan. That's why we don't make any noiseless single coils. I have long been, you've heard me say it before, if you want a single coil, get a single coil. If you want a humbucker, get a humbucker. End of story. I'm just not a person who subscribes to that. And there's a lot of people who will also, I'm going to make this. Do you have a P90 that sounds like a Telecaster or vice versa? And I'm like, no, because the physics of it, the science of it is this size coil, this size, this length, this height, this wire gauge, this is what this sounds like. Well, if you change those things drastically, it won't sound like that anymore. Yeah, well, this company does it, and not really. I mean, they do kinda. But if they market it that way, then it helps. But why is there such a lack of innovation in the guitar industry? I think there is. I think there is tons of innovation. We did a podcast on this not long ago. Guitars, what do you want to innovate? Let me ask you that. So let's ask this. Let's put this out there to you, everybody. What do you want to innovate in the guitar industry? I want to know. What do you want? What do you want to see innovate in the guitar industry? It's not shapes, because we go back to the same basic 5. Amps are innovating by the second. Guitar effects are innovating by the second. The recording side is innovating by the second. So everything is innovating in the guitar industry except the shape of the guitar, really. So what do you want to innovate? I want to know. I'm about to mod an amp. How do I not get electrocuted? Don't ask me. I'm not going to be liable for your problems. Have you heard the current Fender Player P90s that go on the Mustangs? They are as clear as a bell to my ear, but also really strong. Have you heard them? Yeah, I don't agree, but that's because I'm real picky about P90s, obviously. Just wondering, but why are your Thruxton pickups potted? Because if they're not, they make lots of noises and they're annoying. So it makes them more versatile, makes them more easier to play in different circumstances. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Do you think you'll ever disassemble and talk about any other unique pickups? We've done a bunch of those. We could do more. We've done a bunch. Somebody said pickups, change up the design. So I will answer this question or this observation with another question. How do you do that? Because you can't change up the design. Fluence has done that. And all of the traditional guitar players, I don't like Fluences because they take a battery. Okay. But you can't change the shape because that's like changing. They wouldn't fit in anything. Yeah, people say that to me all the time. Well, now that you have a laser, are you going to make some cool new stuff? No, because you're going to have to route your guitar, and nobody wants to cut up their guitar to put some wacky shaped thing in it. So it just doesn't work really. Let's see. Nothing is impossible for the person who doesn't do it themselves. Dude, I love that. I love that. That's totally true. What are your thoughts on using oil to finish a guitar body instead of poly or nitros? I have a custom neck on my Strat that I finished with True Oil and True Wax, and I really like the feel. I don't like oil finishes. I like real finishes. I know a lot of people like oil finishes, but usually, nothing against anybody who likes doing this stuff, because you no doubt it sounds like you did it yourself. You probably enjoyed applying it and doing that work and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of, craftsmen in their garage, people who don't have real paint setups, who enjoy the oil thing and they like the feel of it. I like real guitars, like real painted guitars, real neck finishes. It's kind of a joke that like people use oil finishes who don't know how to paint. But it's kind of true. Because there's a lot of it, and that's why I said it that way. And you probably really enjoy doing the work, so there's nothing against that. But usually that's the reason people choose it is because it's attainable for them. Like they don't have a spray setup, they don't have a, you know what I mean? So they choose it because it's attainable to them. But I think for me, if I have the choice, I'm gonna have a regularly finished neck. It's also why I don't do it myself, because I don't have it either, but I would rather have a regularly finished neck than an oil finished neck. So I would rather just pay the money and get what I want. One welcome innovation, no cables anymore. There are fantastic wireless applications out there. People don't buy them. You know why? Because they're overly complicated, and the simplicity that you would hope that you would have is less simple than you planned. That's usually what happens, because then you have batteries, and then you have interference issues, you have various things, you have latency, and all that stuff is being handled. I get it. Like new stuff is handling it. But for the majority of us, it is easier to just plug in a cable and go. If you think about like any of this new technology, okay, that we have throughout our homes. So I have in my house, we have the wall of reptiles over there. We have a bunch of reptiles. And in that wall of reptiles over there has all the lighting is controlled like by Google Home, right? So it comes on at a certain time, and that one runs at a certain heat, and the thermostat and all that stuff to control it. It's all controlled by Google Home, right? Kitchen light, Google Home. Shop lights, Google Home. I have an app for my garage door, so I can like open my garage door with my phone. All those things are really cool. They're really cool. But when I'm standing in the driveway, it's easier just to hit an old-fashioned remote button than it is to hit the button on the phone, because you have to open the app in the phone, and then when the app, how all apps take a couple of seconds to open, and then it like realizes where it is, and then now you can hit the button. It's faster to just hit a normal button. So same thing with all this lights and stuff. It works when it works, but sometimes when the power goes out, then you got to go back through and reset everything. And it takes 15 minutes to go through the whole house and reset all the smart stuff. It's great. So it's great when it works. It's awesome. I love it. Wouldn't have it any other way. But like the garage door opener, there is I have to pair it. So now it has to be paired. And then when I stand out there, it takes a couple seconds to work. So all technology has its downsides. And so if you put too much of that stuff in something that is very tactile, like guitar playing is, for me, oh, hang on, we got a super chat. Super chat from Ed C. Hey there, I'm interested in building a Texas Toast guitar with a P90 humbucker combination of your pickups. Are there any things to worry about? Any potential pitfalls I should know about? No. Just order the guitar. He sends me an order. Actually, he just ordered a bunch of pickups the other day, and I send them to him, and he puts them in the guitar, and it's going to sound amazing. And that's not the first time we've done that combination. We do a DAF and a P90, and it's going to be awesome. Totally awesome. Thank you for the super chat. How about innovation in guitar straps, better weight distribution, better placement on the shoulders and necks? People have done all that. You make it wider here, you make it skinnier here, you do all this various stuff, right? Like you do all that. And if you want that innovation, get out a pencil and do it. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. If you have an idea, execute it. That's all you can do. Talking about the whole tactile thing. You know, I was thinking about this morning, actually. I'm like a huge freak about knives and fountain pens and, of course, guitars and firearms and, you know, all the things that, like, there really isn't that much innovation. Like, this is a fountain pen, right? Like, this was made in, like, the 1800s. No, this is not. This is a new one, but the technology is made, and it's surface tension, and it's, you know, science, and it's basic science, basic physics makes a fountain pen work. But the whole point of this is to be the basic of the thing, to have the tactile feel that this pen has. Same thing with a pocket knife. You know, I like automatic knives. I have tons of them, but I also like manual knives. You know, the feel of what you're doing might be the reason why you do it. So why are you taking away the thing by putting a bunch of technology in it that makes it what it is? I think on the guitar side, that's why the guitar stays the way it is. Strings have changed a little bit, you know, metallurgy and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, you know, it's pretty much the same. Throwing out old tech because new tech is available is a mistake. I agree. Having all the things is cool. Exploring stuff and enjoying stuff you already have, to me, is fine. I agree. Can the covers be replaced on your P90s that go in the TTGs? Yes. Depends on what you want to replace them with. Just let me know. Yeah, we could do different colors and stuff. Automatic knives are prohibited where you live. That's why I don't live where you live. Heck yeah. Yep, that's why I live where I live. It's 4:53. We're cranking through some questions today. This has been fun. Maybe we should do it like this more often. Not necessarily the shape, but the way it's coiled. A pickup that is a barrel instead of where the pickup is in the center. The coppers. Yeah. Okay. So there are stacked pickups. There are other shaped bobbins. There are individually, like what's the name of that company in New Jersey? Z Coil, who does each pole has it as a coil around it. Like, so there's 6 coils in there. But that stuff all sounds different, man. It doesn't, it's every time. And this is the thing I wish people would get. Every time you make a change to the form factor of a pickup, it will sound different. So if you like how your guitar sounds, then there's no point in changing it. If you're just looking for a new idea to do the same thing, then you're going to have to go further. You're going to have to go digital and then come back. You're going to have to do all kinds of stuff. It's not just change the pickup. If you like how your guitar sounds, there's no point in changing it. Just to change it. Even on the amplifier side of it, that's all because, you know, tubes are getting more expensive and digital stuff is getting cheaper, and tubes are getting harder to maintain and deal with, and people are getting older and don't want to carry them around anymore. And now digital stuff is so good that it doesn't much matter anymore. And honestly, it's just, that is a technology that is dying for sure. Just want to put a metal cover that's blank in the middle to put a fabric of some kind on the P90s. I'll have to do it aftermarket because I haven't asked them about it, and I'm pretty sure it's almost done. You want something to match the fabric. Get with me after you're done with it, and maybe we'll work something out. We'll figure something out. How different is it to cold brew? How different is it to cold brew with, like, maybe instead of let coffee just cool down? Oh, it's way different, dude. You said ask anything. Heck yes, it's way different. So, when you cold brew, the extraction, it's all about the rate of extraction through the grounds. And so when you do hot coffee, the extraction time is much shorter. Like this cup of coffee I used an AeroPress, and it's like a 3-minute extraction. And then you push it through it in 30 seconds or so. And then the cold brew is like 5 hours. That completely changes. I don't even know how to explain it. It completely changes how the coffee tastes, though. If you can imagine the mildness of iced tea, but coffee flavored, that's how cold brew coffee tastes. It's amazing. If you let coffee get cold, it's got a bitterness to it, and it's got an acidity to it that just is not pleasant. Where cold brew coffee does not have that. It's very, very smooth. This is cool. Just thanks for just hanging out with us. Yeah. I just like working on and building guitars to keep my head on straight between work and training sessions. It's a real treat. Dude, that's me. You know, that's why I like writing and all the other stuff. Of course, guitar is work for me. So I have other things that I do for that, but I agree. What makes coffee more sour? Heat makes coffee more sour. Well, kind of. It depends. Cool. Well, you guys, it's been about an hour. Thanks for hanging out. This has been fun. Been a little bit unconventional, but we did it. 212 comments. I love your format and your collaboration with TTG. I will be buying pickups in my next build. Oh, cool. Very cool. That is very cool. Hello, can you wind me a 5 or 6 K ohm Alnico 2 humbucker set? Yeah, I could do that. Just shoot me a message. And when I say shoot me a message, go to dylantalkstone.com and there's a little chat thing down there. That's how you get in touch with me. And I am the one that answers those. So sometimes I don't get to them right away, but I will get to them because, I'm doing something else, but I'll do what I can. And if you message me at like 6:00 on a Friday night, it's possible I won't get back to you in 30 seconds, especially during playoff hockey season. Cool. Sounds good, you guys. Have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow.